Hello, everyone. This is Leila Cobo, and we are getting ready to welcome Christina into our Twitter space. I hope you guys are as excited as we are. We're going to be talking about La Fuerza, which means the strength. And of course, we are here as part of Billboard's Women in Music celebration, which officially takes place live March 2nd, and you can stream it right here on Twitter Spaces starting at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6 p.m. Pacific. And yes, Christina will be there, but Christina is here right now. Christina, are you there? She'll be here any second. Hold on. We're inviting her to come into the space. And in the meantime, again, just a reminder that this is part of our Billboard's Women in Music celebration. And the official Women in Music event is March 2nd. We're going to have wonderful performances, and everything is going to stream live here on Twitter. And you can stream everything starting at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 p.m. Pacific Time. And Christina Aguilera will be a guest at Billboard's Women in Music celebration. And she is a guest today here in Twitter Spaces. And Christina, are you there? I see hearts going up. So let's give it a few seconds for Christina
Okay, are you
to
there now?
connect.
Hello?
You are here. We hear
Yay!
you. Yes.
Okay, great. Wonderful. We got it. I was unmuted for a minute and I couldn't get it situated.
Oh, don't worry. We've all done that. I did that at the beginning. It's a little learning curve there until you get used to the mic being there, right?
A little tech help, yes. All good, I'm on.
How
Nice
are
to talk to
you?
you. I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. I'm so thrilled to talk to you because the last time we spoke was very quickly at the red carpet at the Latin Grammys, which was very exciting. But before that,
What a beautiful night. Yeah.
it was a beautiful night, Christina. But I have to tell our listeners that the last time we spoke before that was a long time ago when you released Mi Reflejo. Remember?
Of course. Well, baby Christina back then, yeah.
Baby
So
Christina.
new to everything. Yes, at the beginning. Yeah, really special memories, and yeah, so happy to now be doing, my love of Spanish music again, but now as a grown woman and having been in this business for so long, and now with a different set of eyes as a mother and as a businesswoman. It's a very different time than when I first came on the scene with Mi Reflejo back in the very beginning of the early stages of my career before Stripped came out, anything.
Before anything, but I have to say, if there's anyone listening who hasn't heard that album, please stream it because it is the baby Christina, but you sang Contigo en la Distancia. It sounds
Yes.
so spectacular, and now you've come full circle. Tell us why you had this yearning to sing in Spanish again. What happened?
Well, I've always had it. I've never stopped sort of singing in Spanish whenever the opportunities came about where I was really passionate about a project. Alejandro Fernandez, doing a song with him and certain soundtrack
Oh, I
moments. And,
remember.
but it's always in me, like I always say, when you grow up with something and it's in your household, it's a part of, what you hear growing up, as I did when my parents were together. My mom was fluent in Spanish. That's how she met my dad. And they connected. Actually, my father was from Ecuador and came over here. I was born in Staten Island, where him and his grandparents had come, so I lived with them in my early childhood, so I heard the language so much. So I always say, when it's in you, it never leaves you. And I speak it with the best of my ability through the thing that I know how to do best, and that's through music and through my voice. And I have so much respect and love for my family and my roots and my background, and it's been a beautiful time too to be doing it now. I think timing is
Mm-hmm.
everything, and you have to do things when it feels like the right time. And now, being a mother and wanting to share this also with my children, and this is sort of an education within itself, letting them be around the process of it. I took my daughter with me to Miami, where we literally lived there for over a month and
Oh,
spent time,
wow.
yeah, in the studio, and just all these amazing, incredible, just such talented, beautiful people from all around the world came in to create this record with me. And I definitely had things that I was specifically influenced by, from Chavela, and taking the Contigo en la distancia to like a whole different level of honoring the boleros, the rancheros. So I was so excited to be doing this now, and to also be telling my kids where this music comes from. And oh my God, part of that discovery for me was actually the movie Frida, and watching Selma embody that role. And now I teach
Mm-hmm.
my own daughter. We read about Frida all the time, and my daughter wants to be an artist one day, but like a drawing, painting artist. I can't do that, but that's her talent. So I'll let her learn do that, and she's just fascinated with Frida's story. So all things connected. It's really cute though too, because I don't, on my personal time, listen to my own music, because I get way too,
It's
I'm such a,
horrible. It's
yeah,
like looking
it's
at pictures.
you
Yeah,
know
it's like looking
you're
at
a
pictures of
perfectionist.
yourself. You can't.
Yeah, and then you're like, oh, I could have done this ad lib over here, or I could have been,
Uh,
it's just a never ending process when you're listening to your own work. But it's so cute though. But I let my feelings aside, because my daughter gets in the car. We went for this long weekend trip, because they didn't have school Monday, and I took them out to Santa Barbara, and all she wanted to listen to the whole way was La Fuerza. And I was so excited to like
oh, I
share this with
love
her.
that.
Yeah, she's
And are you
very, very
teaching?
into it.
Are they learning Spanish? Do you speak to them in Spanish or read to them in Spanish?
Yes, we do read books together. And my grandma, well, her grandma, my mother, is the one that can definitely speak to them, and speak better than I can. It's really hard, when you grow up hearing it all the time. Within, it was for me, my father and my mother spoke, and then when they got divorced, I'm the product of many people in my situation, where when you're little and that kind of happens, and you don't hear it as spoken as much in the home, because then we moved in with my grandma, who
Of
didn't speak at
course.
all, who was on my mom's side. So I'm like half Latin, half Irish, so lots of fiery
Hmm.
blood there.
Great mix.
And
Great mix.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, it just it sucks. And whenever that kind of, you're not around it as much. But I will say, when I went to Miami and I was around all the players, that's what I love so much about making these albums, is it definitely just puts me in this zone of being able to hear and feel it, and so many things. Like I said, once it's in you, it never leaves you, and it starts coming back to you very quickly.
Of
I
course,
was
it
to the
must
point
be
where I was
like
like, gosh, maybe I need to move to Miami and just,
yes,
surrender.
Christina. But I think it's like an ember that it never extinguishes, right? And the minute you connect again with kind of that breath of oxygen, it reactivates. But I love that you grew up listening to the language and to the sounds from both your mom and your dad. Do you have like an early recollection of music that they would play at home that kind of stuck with you?
Well, my mom also had the biggest crush on Julio Iglesias.
Love it.
So it was a lot of that in the home. My grandma had yeah, it was a household where there was a lot of music, and even though I was too young to really know who the artists were, the feel and the energy of from the dancing, there was, the dancing is very specific, and there's so many different styles from all different territories all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
But and yeah, we would just, I remember just the best memories. And my there was an Ecuadorian drink, quacker, that my mom, like, I still to
Uh-huh.
this day, I ask her to make it for me. And like, there's like specific, beautiful, like embedded memories there from my childhood that, you know, I try to. My mom doesn't live close to us, but it's definitely on my to-do list. I'm like, okay, you have to make quaca for the kids and like let them get in on this. Like, it's like a oatmeal-y, yummy, like rich, with pineapple. You can make
Oh,
it different
love
ways, a
it.
little spicy, yeah, that. And so yeah, really, really cool memories there. And so yeah, it's always in me. But it's so cool to now see that my daughter's interested and taking a liking to, the music. And she really, she's a very, lost in thought sort of little girl. She's very introspective. She can be a little shy, but there's always something turning and going on in her. So, and I'm so happy to be passing it down to her, where I know in her this music will live inside of her as memories forever. That, like you said, the ember and the flame, and once it's in you, she'll have these moments and these memories forever. So it's a beautiful thing to be able to do now more than ever, in my life, to have been able to embrace this experience with my children.
Yes, and one thing that I really love about La Fuerza is that in Mi Reflejo, what you did is you took this great English album and you recorded versions of the songs in Spanish. And here it's all original material, and you did it from scratch. You went into the studio with all these different writers and artists. Why did you do it this way versus taking hits, Christina hits from before, and simply translating them? Why was it important to do fresh material?
Well, thank you for asking about that. Yes, it was a very important thing for me to not, everything has a different story and a different meaning. And also, certain, you can't really fully translate authentically things from Spanish to English, English to Spanish. It just doesn't. Spanish language is so beautiful. I have to say, there's certain things you just literally cannot, make it, have the same meaning, and in the richness and the poetry that is allowed to be understood in Spanish. It's just the hard translation doesn't work. And so I really wanted to honor that, and I really wanted to make sure that this wasn't, at the time I was so busy promoting that first album, and, Genie, and this was before Stripped, and it was,
Genie,
yeah,
yes.
Genie. And I took time. I went to Miami, and I worked with, Rudy at the time on the
Mm-hmm.
album, and he introduced me to Contigo en la Distancia, which was like, from then on I was in love and loved boleros. And I like died every time I learned something new. That's the thing. I just, as an artist, you can't stay stuck or want to repeat the same things. Like, I really embraced this wholeheartedly. And even though, yeah, it can be scary, because I'm definitely not as confident in writing in Spanish as I am in English, my first language. But this is so special to me. You're never too old to understand or learn something new, and learn something
Absolutely.
deeper and richer about yourself. And just because it might be a little scary, or the footing might, be a little more difficult, and it's definitely more challenging, I wasn't going to let that stop me or make me feel bad, or too scared to be able to connect with something that's so powerful and real, and true to me, and to allow my children to experience this as well. So we're in it together. It's it's a family thing. And I'm so happy, yeah, that it's also been, just so well received. But most importantly, that it's been well received with my biggest little fan, my daughter.
I love this whole thing of your little fans, because we always talk about the lack of women in music and leadership positions, which of course you've been a great leader, but we never talk about the fact of how hard it is to balance stardom and a career in music with children. And here you have your two little ones, and you're going into this kind of fresh new stage. And how do you balance it? What is your trick?
You try all the tricks you can. Everybody has a different, relationship with their children and what it means to them to be a mom. There's no one single right right or wrong way to do anything. I think it's truly, it's our job as mothers to be protectors and nurturers and caregivers, and I have so much respect for women in general, for everything that we do, for being the backbone of our families, for making sure that we put them as a priority. We are the glue that keeps it together. So that's a main part of La Fuerza, and a big reason why I wanted to start with Pa Mis Muchachas, with the girls, and
Mm-hmm.
having this sense of familia, and bringing all of us together, representing different territories and what being Latin means to all of us in our own specific different ways, but combining it and blending it in a way that felt so magical and strong, and something that I'm just so proud of. I just think that we go through so much. We are hyper scrutinized sometimes in the business,
Mm-hmm.
and everyone pretty much is, when you're in this business of in
You
all in
are.
all in all sorts of all the words, but being a mom, I think also just, you just want the best for them. You don't want any of what you're doing to truly like affect who the person they want to become will be. You
Mm-hmm.
don't want anything to affect them in a negative way, or, for them but this is all, it's their lives, and it's a beautiful life. And I really try to separate the two worlds as well. I can be, to a fault, almost too private of a person, because I honor and respect, my family, and our dynamic, and making sure they know that sometimes, mommy's work is just that, it's work,
It's
and
work.
I do things that I love to do, and I'm so proud and grateful to be able to, make money and provide for my family, doing something that I just have loved since I was a little girl. But not to say, it doesn't come without a lot of struggles and certain, give and takes. But, we all have to do that, and we all find our own way. We just, some days will be harder than others. I miss my kids a lot on times when I can't be with them. I remember, yeah, that Latin Grammy week was a long week. It was, I was there to do, it was rehearsals for the
So what do you
Rubin
do?
tribute.
You do FaceTime with them? How do you stay in touch? Like what's your like secret power there?
Of course, I make sure too that if I can't be there for the school days, you do the little things. I think the big things are in the little things, in the details. I think it's, making sure your child just knows that they're safe and they're loved and they're secure. I'm like a safety mom at heart. I'm always making sure, like, are they okay? Are they safe? Seatbelts are a big thing, and I make sure that, I put the notes in their lunches just to
Oh, you
remind them
do
that I
that,
love them.
really?
Yes, of course. And I'm super like scrapbooky crafty too. So I'm like a 10-year-old with like, I'll put stickers on it and glitter. Like I go all out for
Oh
for
my
them.
God.
My son's too old and he's too cool for that. He'd kill me if I tried it with him now. He's 14. But my daughter, she's still at the age where I get to, be a little more playful and fun with it. And I'm holding on to that till she crosses over to her teen years. So, and then it's just, it's not okay to do that anymore, mom. But,
You'll find
I think it's
something
the little
else.
things. Yeah, sending a little, balloon bouquet or something if I can't be there. But I always really try to figure out a way to include them, to bring them to, and to let them see that mommy, even though, yeah, sometimes it's not in my comfort zone to do something. And sometimes, yeah, mommy doesn't want to go to the studio and work today. But you know what? Sometimes we got to do things that we don't want to do in order to make it to the other side of what we do want to accomplish and what we want to achieve. And it's
Absolutely.
not always easy. So I think it's the lessons that you definitely teach them, and also letting them know they're always cradled in your love no matter what is just the
Oh, I
ultimate
love
goal.
that.
Yeah.
And Christina, going back to Pamis Muchachas, because that was, I feel that that song, which was the first single in Spanish from your new project, it was such a statement, right? Because you took, instead of going like with a big established name, now you have a song with Osuna, who's a big superstar. But here you went with three girls who, well, Becky G, of course, is a big star, but Nikki Nicola and Nati Peluso are on the rise. They're all great artists, but you deliberately chose like a young generation of women, of Latin women, to be with you in this song, which feels to me like it was very deliberate. You said, I want, what was your thought process in doing the song and choosing them and calling it Pa Mis Muchachas, which means for my girls.
Absolutely. I think that it's important to support women, and I think it's taking the easy way out sometimes just to like do the thing that maybe, the public just would expect. Or I've always tried to do the unexpected. I came up,
Mm-hmm.
um, you know, all my career, I've actually gone for, it doesn't matter who's charting or who's this or that. Like, I definitely am, the talent itself speaks to me. And much of the time, that doesn't include everybody that's on the charts all the time. If anything,
Mm-hmm.
some of that can get to be a little manufactured. But I while I was in Miami, I met Nathy actually at the last day of like the rap party for the album. And
Mm.
she was just, I was so inspired by her look, and she's just so fascinating. And so I started engaging with what she was doing, posting, and how she performs live. And I was blown away with her dancing and the way she just moves, and her energy is so, it's so fiery and it's so powerful. And she's clearly just somebody, a force to be reckoned with. And I have so much admiration for her style and what she represents as an artist, and being unafraid to be different. So definitely supportive of that. She won a few Grammys that night, I think, that we performed. So I was so happy that
Yes.
she was, she's doing it, and she's doing it big. She's making definitely a name for herself. Meeting Nikki was such a beautiful experience too, because I literally felt a little, it reminded me of, like, she was very sort of a little more shy and quiet, and but she, such a force whenever she would perform, and she knew how to have that turn on button. And she was the one that actually spoke like no English, so the two of us, definitely needed the help of like a Natty and Becky to step in a little bit. But she was just the sweetest, and just so green, and so, just this little tiny force to be reckoned with. I loved her, and her energy was so special, so sweet, which is
Yeah.
amazing. And I remember from even working with the girls on Lady Marmalade, and like different
Oh my
female
gosh.
collaborations that I've done, Madonna, whatever. It's just always been such a fun experience collaborating with other women in particular, because I'm sorry, I just find that, women, we know how to put on the show. We know how to put it together. We make it fun with the hair and the makeup, and
And the
we get to,
outfits.
yeah,
Yeah.
we get to express ourselves. And it's always a fun time. It's always really good energy getting to work with other women. And I felt like, yeah, the strength of family is, are the women. We glue it together, and
You do. We do
provide.
indeed.
We do. So I
We
want to
do.
celebrate that. So Pa Mis Muchachas is, it's a celebration of life, and of owning who you are, and your strength and your sexiness, letting your hair down. And I love the line in the bridge where it's like, if I'm crying, whatever, whatever, I'll just take a shot of tequila, mix it with my tears, and on we go.
Yeah.
So
And I
yeah.
hear that this La Fuerza is an EP and it's the first, but I hear it is not the last. So what can you tell us about what's coming next?
Yes, when I went to Miami, we wrote such an abundance of material that it just, like, every day I had to cut so many things, to be honest. I still have enough for, so it's going to be released in chapters. So I definitely, with, the fans having waited for so long, I definitely wanted to give them um surprises throughout the year. So I didn't want
Mm-hmm.
to, like, overload them in the beginning. So it's almost like these beautiful pieces that just keep coming and surprising. So I call them chapters. So the first chapter is La
Okay.
Fuerza, and then there will be another chapter. I think
What is
there's
it called? Can you tell us, or is that a secret?
I actually don't know for sure if I can say or not. So
Oh my
stay
gosh, I
tuned,
would love
to
to
be
squeeze
determined.
it
But
out of you, but I don't know,
yeah.
Brett will kill me.
each each body of work, though, represents a different tone and a different mood, and a different it creates a different release of the journey that I'm on as a woman. So you start with the strength, the backbone, you
Uh-huh.
know, uniting, being strong. But then we're going to get a little more tender, and we're going to open up to being a little more vulnerable with the material as time
Oh.
continues. And then I think we're going to close on this healing note where I even, it was very personal to me, and this is also why I didn't want to translate music. I really wanted it to come from the heart and be truly authentic to the woman I am now. And within all the years of growth, also, there's been a lot of forgiveness that I've made with myself, with my childhood. You know, I've never had um, the you know super connected relationship with my father. You know, I had, you know, a chaotic childhood, and I've always spoken pretty openly about that. But I
Mm-hmm.
think
You have.
after years, you know, you heal things and you forgive, and you know, you might not ever forget, and that's partly a blessing because it has allowed me to create and to sing the way I do, to dig deep the way I do, and to hopefully inspire others who have gone through struggles as well. But at the same time, you know, it comes to a place too for your children, to be a mother. You know, I think you become wiser as you become older, and you start to being able to be more open to compassion for others, and you know what they might be struggling with. And even though it might not always be right, you know, I come from a level of compassion, and a place of healing is a beautiful place to be. So we're going to close on that note, I think, with the last chapter for this leg anyway. But there'll be much more Spanish music to come forevermore. Now that we're back in it, I can never let it go ever again. For
I
so
love
long,
that,
for so
Christina.
long.
Well, I think I can say for everybody on the space today that we can't wait to hear these next two chapters, especially after what you've told us. So we're going into tenderness, we're going into forgiveness, we're going into a little bit of rebirth. I can't wait. And I don't know if everybody here knows that there is a Christina Billboard cover coming next week, but it's very hush hush. So what can you tell? What can you tell us?
Well,
What can we expect? I hear it's going to be sensational, first of a kind. I So what can you tell us?
yes, it's super special. It is a first effort into the world of the NFT space, combined with Billboard and using an incredible uh, artist.
Mm-hmm.
What
Yam,
is
correct?
you have it correct?
Yam,
Yes,
YAM.
yes.
And
Who
she does these
literally does.
beautiful illustrations, right?
Yes, these beautiful imagery of women, and a really, really cool take on what that means. And in this NFT space, lots to explore. And I'm so excited to see it for the first time actually along with everyone else, and what this is going to come into, and also the donation. We are celebrating Women's History Month, and I'm just
Yes.
so excited for all of this kind of coming forth together hand in hand, and everything that it means authentically and spiritually to me, and getting to share this with the world and for everyone alike. So doing things
Yeah.
that you love.
Doing things that you love. And yes, it's our celebration of women in music. And it does coincide with Women's Month, and it is the cover is going to be created by Yam, who is the founder of a of an initiative called World of Women. And yeah, she does these really cool illustrations. I have no idea what yours is going to be like.
I
I can't
know.
wait. I
I
can't wait.
know. Yeah, I think it's a series of a couple other women are having NFT covers like this with Billboard, but I'm so happy to be a part of this project, supporting women and doing something, you know, so, you know, this is new. This is some
This is
interesting stuff
new.
we're getting into, you know, this territory. And you know, maybe my son will actually appreciate that one.
I think he will. And listen, Christina, before I let you go, what you now have the song with Osuna out, Santo. So what is next? What should we be looking for in the next few weeks from you? What should we be looking for music wise? Is there
Well,
anything else around the corner?
Yes, of course. The next chapter will drop soon. Title, yes, I can't fully say
No,
yet,
don't tell us
but
yet.
it's going to be very exciting, yes, to keep unraveling this beautiful music that's been so close to my heart, such a part of, me personally, having elements of my childhood and now influencing my own children's childhood and getting able to explore this further and further with my fans. I mean, I know my fans have been waiting for this for such a long time, and that's why I wanted to sort of like keep surprising them throughout the year and withholding it in this body of work as chapters that really coincide with the feel that I'm trying to convey in this, coming from such a deep place in my heart. So I'm so happy to share this and to continue releasing this beautiful music. So thank you so much.
No, Christina, thank you. Thank you for sharing it with us. I can't wait until the next chapter. And I can't wait until Women in Music. And as a reminder to everybody here listening, the Women in Music celebration is March 2nd. Christina will be there. We'll be able
Yes.
to see the beautiful cover. So stay tuned for that. And if you want to stream Women in Music, you can do it right here on Twitter starting at 9 p.m. Eastern. 6 p.m. Pacific. But Christina, today we had you all for ourselves. So we're very lucky. Thank you so much.
Thank you so, so much. Thank you for having me. So excited to celebrate on the 2nd. I'll be there and we'll do the cover reveal.
Yes, I can't wait.
Okay.
Okay, big kiss to you.
Mwah. Thank you so
Mwah.
much. Bye bye.
Bye.